The store lights were dim, the street was empty. She was young, alone, and the doors had just locked behind her. What began as a normal night shift turned into a moment of pure fear, until the sound of engines broke the silence. This is not just a story about danger. It is a story about courage, unity, and strangers who refused to look away. The store should have felt safe once the doors were locked. The metal shutter was halfway down, the neon sign outside flickered off, and the night pressed against the glass windows like a heavy curtain. Inside, the young cashier stood alone, counting the register for the last time. Every beep of the scanner earlier still echoed in their head, mixing with the low hum of refrigerators and buzzing lights. It was that strange silence that comes after a long shift, the kind that makes you feel exposed instead of relieved. Outside, the street looked empty, but emptiness can be deceiving. Shadows stretched under streetlights, and somewhere far away, laughter carried on the wind. The cashier tried to ignore it, focusing on the numbers, reminding themselves they'd be home soon. Just a few more minutes, just one more task. But unease crept in, crawling up their spine. The night didn't feel finished. It felt like it was waiting. This wasn't just a job. Every late-night shift meant food on the table and bills paid on time. The cashier had learned to swallow exhaustion and smile through it. Long hours, low pay, no complaints, because quitting was never an option. Tonight, their feet ached, their eyes burned, and their hands shook slightly as they closed out the register. They thought about home. About how good it would feel to sit down, to breathe, to feel safe. Working alone after closing always carried risk, but management said it was normal. Nothing ever happens, they were told. Still, a knot of worry sat heavy in their chest. Being young, being alone, being visible. They didn't know it yet, but in moments, all that quiet resilience would be tested in ways they never imagined. The laughter outside grew louder, not friendly, not harmless. A group of men lingered near the entrance, leaning against the glass, peering inside. Their eyes scanned the store, then locked onto the cashier. One of them rattled the door handle, grinning when he saw fear flicker across the cashier's face. They joked with each other, pointing, mocking. It was a game to them. The cashier's heart began to race. The lock should have kept them out, but one hard shove proved otherwise. The door opened just enough to cross the line, enough to turn discomfort into danger. The thugs stepped inside, bringing the night with them. At first, it was words, cruel jokes, insults disguised as laughter. They crowded the counter, invading space, cutting off escape. Every sentence landed like a slap. The cashier tried to keep their voice steady, tried to stay professional, hoping compliance would make them leave faster. But the men fed on fear. They leaned closer, blocked the exit, laughed louder. The store felt smaller by the second. The cashier's pulse pounded in their ears. Hands clenched, breath shallow. Fear wrapped tight around their chest as the harassment grew sharper, darker, more threatening. Inside, panic screamed. Outside, no one came. The cashier's eyes searched the store desperately. An unlocked door, a phone, anything. Time slowed, stretching each second into an eternity. 1,000 thoughts raced through their mind. Stay calm. Don't provoke them. Please leave. Fear has a way of stealing your voice, and in that moment, silence felt like the only shield. A silent prayer formed, fragile and desperate. Someone, please. The world narrowed to survival, and hope hung by a thread. What the thugs didn't realize was that the store wasn't truly empty. In the back aisles, signs were scattered like breadcrumbs, leather jackets draped over a chair, cups left behind, engines outside still ticking as they cooled. Someone else was there, watching, listening, waiting. The thugs were so focused on intimidation, they missed the shift in the air, missed the warning signs, missed the moment when control quietly slipped from their hands. a voice spoke from behind them, deep, calm, unshaken. That enough, footsteps followed, slow and deliberate. One biker stepped into view, then another. Broad shoulders, steady eyes. No rush, no panic, just presence. The room fell silent. The thugs turned, confusion flashing across their faces. They hadn't planned for this. The cashier barely dared to breathe. Without a single punch thrown, the balance of power shifted completely. The thugs' laughter died instantly. Their bravado evaporated as they realized the exits were blocked. These weren't men to intimidate. The bikers didn't shout or threaten. They didn't have to. Silence spoke louder than fists. For the first time that night, the thugs felt what fear really was. The same fear they had enjoyed inflicting moments earlier. Leave, now. 2 words. Firm. Final. The bikers stood their ground, making it clear, this store, this cashier, was not prey. Pride swallowed. The thugs backed away, stumbling toward the door. No violence, no chaos, just accountability. They fled into the darkness, smaller than they'd arrived. Justice didn't roar. It stood calmly and refused to move. When the door shut again, the silence returned, but this time, it felt safe. The cashier's legs nearly gave out as the adrenaline faded. One of the bikers spoke gently, asking if they were okay. Another stayed by the door. They didn't rush. They didn't leave. They waited, offered reassurance, made sure the cashier wasn't alone. That night didn't end in fear, ended in humanity. That night ended without headlines, without applause, but not without meaning. A young cashier went home safe because strangers chose courage over comfort. Stories like this remind us that kindness is still alive, even in the darkest hours. If this story touched your heart, stay with us. Subscribe to Miracles of Kindness for more real moments that restore faith in humanity. Because the world doesn't just need more stories, it needs more people who believe in them.